Have you ever felt like you're just lost in a giant haystack of data, trying to find that one tiny needle of insight? Well, today, we're going to show you how to find that needle and then use it to stitch together an absolutely killer marketing strategy. We are talking about secondary data, the secret weapon that's pretty much hiding in plain sight. Okay, let's start with a feeling I think we all know way too well. You're staring at your screen, it's just charts, spreadsheets, reports everywhere. You have tons and tons of data, but it just feels like noise, right? Not insight. It is the classic definition of information overload. But what if you could flip that? What if you could turn that data chaos into your biggest competitive advantage? Well, in this explainer, we're going to give you the tools to do exactly that. First, we'll build your data toolkit. Then we'll put it to the test on some real-world marketing missions. I promise, by the end of this, you'll be turning that chaos into crystal clear strategy. Let's do it.
All right, time to gear up. Look, any successful data mission starts with having the right toolkit. So right now, we're about to equip you with the essential rules for navigating this huge world of secondary data. This is how you're going to uncover the insights that really give you an edge.
Here they are, your first 3 tools for the kit. Think of it like you're using a map, okay? You start with the whole country view to get your bearings. Then you zoom in on your city, and finally, you find your specific street. It's the same with data. Start broad with big industry trends. Cross-reference your sources to make sure you're on the right path. And then, this is key, integrate it with your own data to find your exact location.
And this is where the magic happens. You see, external data is kind of like a weather forecast. It tells you a big wave is coming. But your internal data, that's what tells you if your surfboard is even ready to ride it. And when you put those two together, you don't just get information. You get a clear, actionable strategy.
Okay, listen up, because this might just be the single most important question in your entire toolkit. Before you trust any piece of data, you have to interrogate it. Seriously, who made it? What were they trying to prove? A stat from a company trying to sell you something? I mean, it might be true, but you can bet it's not the whole truth. So be skeptical, be critical.
And this just says it all, doesn't it? Sure, flared jeans might make a comeback someday, but basing your 2025 marketing plan on data from 2021, that is a major fashion faux pas. The world moves so fast, consumer behavior changes in a blink. Your data has got to be fresh to be relevant, period.
A stat like this is so much more than just a number. It's the building block for a really compelling story. It's the hard evidence that turns a cool creative idea into, no, we have to do this. When you back up your proposals with solid data, you give them the power to persuade people and actually inspire action.
So now that you've got your toolkit, it's time to put it to the test. We're heading out on a few data-driven missions to see how these tools can totally transform your marketing planning from, a shot in the dark to a strategic science. Let's look at this real-world example from ASOS. So they see an external report that says, wow, nearly half of UK internet users are on TikTok. Then they check their own internal data, and guess what? Their TikTok ads are crushing it. The decision is suddenly super simple and completely defensible. That is data-driven budgeting in action. Beautiful. So how do you set your goals? You just pick a nice round number that sounds good? Data gives you a much, much better way. By benchmarking your own performance against your competitors, you can set a target that is both ambitious and realistic. And trust me, a goal that's backed by data is a whole lot more persuasive than one you just plucked out of thin air. So, imagine you're reading a government report, and you find this little nugget of information. It's interesting, right? You might file it away as just a general trend. But on its own, well, it's just a fact.
But then, you look at your own customer analytics, and you see a totally different story. There's this huge, growing group of smartphone users who are completely off your radar. That's not just a gap in your data anymore. That is a gold mine of opportunity, just sitting there, waiting for you to discover it. And you found it just by connecting the dots between external and internal data.
And your toolkit isn't just for finding treasure. It's also your early warning system. Economic forecasts predicting a recession can tell you to shift your messaging to focus more on value. This is all about using data to build a marketing plan that isn't just optimistic, but also really resilient.
All right, we're on the home stretch now, but the mission is far from over. In the crazy fast-paced world of marketing, a plan is just the starting line. The real winners, the real pros, are the ones who are constantly listening, learning, and adapting to whatever changes are coming their way.
This simple loop you see here is your secret to continuous improvement. It's simple. You make a forecast based on the data you have.
You measure what actually happens. Then, and this is the crucial part, you analyze the difference and use that learning to make your next forecast even smarter. It's not about being right the first time, it's about getting better every time.
So here's the bottom line. Mastering secondary data is so much more than just a technical skill. It's a career catalyst. It transforms you into a marketer whose ideas aren't just creative, but they're also credible, strategic, and totally ready to drive real business results.
And that leaves us with one final thought, which is really your first step. The data in your own organization, your sales reports, your web analytics, it is packed with secrets nobody has bothered to look for yet. So take the toolkit we talked about today, start exploring, and go find that first secret that could change everything.